Okay, y'all, it is crunch time for real. I'm going to have to really lock in for this rewatch for the remaining episodes because we're now 2 days away from the season 3 premiere of Zatima. But anyways, hello. Welcome to my channel, TV-DICTION, where we talk about all my latest TV obsessions. We're back at it with the Zatima Rewatch to see if the episodes are still giving what they gave, as the first time I watched them. And as you can tell by the title, this video will be discussing episodes 11 through 15 of season 2. Y'all, the beginning scene. That beginning scene of episode 11 has to be the most intense we've ever seen Zach and Fatima. This scene was worse than that argument scene from episode 5 and 6 of season 1. When I say Crystal and the Vow was in their acting bag, they were in their mother effing acting bag, okay? Like, I am still shook from that scene. And I am really shocked to this day that scene didn't get nominated for not one award. The type of emotion that was evoked from the Val as Zach was crazy, okay? Zach and Fatima were on 10. You know what? They were on 100. Both of them, okay? As they were dealing with the aftermath of, Miss Gladys's revelation that she saw Zach with Connie, insinuating that Zach slept with Connie. The emotions were high, okay? They were up there from both parties. Zach and Fatima were really wilding. I believe that this scene was just the aftermath of all the build-up emotions from Zach finally hitting a breaking point. And, Zach erupted. Like, he just couldn't take it no more. All those built-up emotions that he suppressed, you can only suppress them for so long before they just rise to the surface. I think that's just what happened. Like, it hit the boiling point. And unfortunately, he took it out on Fatima, It got to the surface, and the only person in his purview was Fatima. So that's who got the brunt of that blow up. But Fatima's the fighter. She was not backing down. She was holding her own. Like, he was at 10, she was at 10. She definitely matched that energy, okay? She was matching his energy, bar for bar. I do often think about how differently things could have played out in this scene. Like, after Fatima sat down, what if she never left? Even after she threw the ring, what if she never left? What if she stayed, and when Zach had that final breakdown, that gut-wrenching cry, like, you could see, like, he was really just releasing all those emotions. That final cry he did by himself at the table. What if Fatima was there to hold him and soothe him and provide him that reassurance, that she's not going anywhere, or she's not going to hurt him and leave him or abandon him like his mother did? Oh, how impactful that would have been. That would have ate up. If she would have stayed and was hugging him in that moment, that an alternative ending, that would have ate. I still stand on the fact that the Vow deserved an effing award for that performance. It was chilling. It was gut-wrenching. And it's rare to see that kind of emotion being evoked from a male character. He really did his big one with that scene. Like, round of applause to you, Mr. Ellis, okay? Round of applause. I don't blame Miss Mona, Fatima's mother, for her feelings towards Zach, because she's just not trying to see her baby girl hurt, So when Fatima revealed that her and Zach had broken up, and then, she just started going in on Zach or whatever, and even after she left, she was like, he's better off, she's better off. That, sentiment is expected from a mother, okay? Especially, she's seeing her daughter hurt right now. Like, it's not her place to be sticking up for that man in this moment. So, Miss Mona, get a pass from me right now. Bryce is again not listening to Zach. Zach said he did not have the money for the deal. But here he goes, trying to pressure him into it. More and more, I'm really starting to think that Bryce was not the best person for Zach to go into business with. There was a moment when I did agree with Bryce, like when Zach asked him the question. I think the question along the line was, do I ruin things or something like that? I don't remember. I do agree with Bryce that, in not so many words, Zach is scared of his own potential and scared of, fully committing to going after everything he truly wants. But we all know that it's a trauma response, though, because when you're used to everything always going to shit, you're just going to, get used to expecting the worst. And, sometimes the worst may be a result of you self-sabotaging because you're expecting the worst. But, the worst is to come nonetheless. Why are Tony and Nathan steady lurking on Fatima's social media pages? Because how did y'all know she switched her status to single so quickly? Like, let me find out y'all have y'all notifications on for her post. Because what? How'd y'all know so quick? And why does it matter to y'all? Zach, I wish, as easy as it was for you to tell Tony and Nathan that you didn't sleep with Connie, you could have easily been that open with Fatima and avoid this whole blowout. Like, a simple no, I didn't would have literally just, prevented this whole blow up from happening. Now, Fatima, why would call be the phone call you make? I think that was wrong of Fatima because, she told Zach he has nothing to worry about with Paul. And now the first person she calls when, they're going through something is Paul. Come on now, girl. You know better than that. Mr. Henry was really out there looking like he was tempted to risk it all, talking about, my name is Henry and I'm a Capricorn. If you don't go sit down somewhere, old man. But I do appreciate Mr. Henry going to talk to some sense into Zach on behalf of his daughter. Like, Zach needs that wise father figure type, that he never had. And I think Mr. Henry could be that for him. I was really appreciative that he went and talked to Zach. He ain't need to do that. And he came at it like mild manner, and he didn't blow up he didn't come, to Zach sideways. He really came man to man. We gotta sit down, we gotta talk. You're my daughter hurt you or whatever, but y'all gotta get back together type. And I really appreciated that, Mr. Henry. Belinda really had the audacity to call Fatima her friend on that stage and then put her on the spot like that to sing. Girl, please get out of my face with that right now. One thing about it, two things for sure. Crystal got a voice on her, okay? That performance, 10 out of 10, 8 down. Fatima was really singing her heart out to Zach on that mic, okay? Really got him realizing how big he done messed up in front of an audience. I like him. I love to see it. Go ahead. Regret it. Regret letting her walk out that door. Regret the whole thing as you see her belt out Alicia Keys. Period. I actually think that this karaoke scene was actually a perfect way to end an episode that started out so tumultuous. Okay, it was like a subtle step on the chapter, that we really thought would be closing. Chef's kiss. If Nathan utters one more bad word about Fatima, I swear I'm going to have to reach into the TV and slap him a damn self. And it's like, sir, can you not read the room right now? Your homeboy is clearly hurting. This is not the time for you to dogpile on his girl and make him feel worse. Come on. Honestly, I was not even shocked that Belinda and Nathan were messing around with one another. This is right on brand with their level of trifleness. And Belinda, similar to Nathan, never taking accountability for anything. Like, what do you mean he broke you and your best friend up? No, girl, that was all you. You coming onto him and proceeding to lie and try to hurt your best friend is what ended that relationship. Can we please be so for real right now? I don't think Fatima would have ever had the heart to sleep with another man, even when on a break with Zach, okay? Sis is too far gone in love with that man to do so. We actually saw this happen back in, season 3 of Sisters, when she initially found out, about Zach sleeping with Karen, and she had that day with that fine behind chocolate of a man. But she couldn't go through, all the way with him because, Zach was still on her mind, and they weren't even really an item back then. So I knew Paul wouldn't have been any different, okay? He had no chance with her. Paul, how desperate are you to be talking about? You can call me his name. I don't mind. Use me up. Sir, that is a hella red flag if I'd ever seen one before. Like, can you calm your thirsty ass down, please? And thank you. Tony. Now, you ain't about that life for real. Like, why would you buck up at Paul and his friend like that? With your old ass and then want to talk about you should have stretched. Like, sir, get in the house. Please, Tony. But shout out to you for having your homeboys back. Shout out to you for being on go behind your best friend. I appreciate the besties sticking up for their best friend. Fatima know damn well she wanted to come from around that wall and talk to her man. But Zach was definitely going about getting Fatima back all the wrong way, coming to her friend's house and making a scene despite her asking, him to leave is not the right way to try to convince someone to get back together with you, okay? Give her some time, let her process everything, and then try to come with your apology tour. Zach got me agreeing with Bryce again. That decision about therapy is up to you. Only you can decide whether you need or want help. No one else can make that decision for you. Still not liking how Bryce is still being so persistent about this damn deal. But I do agree in that regard of the therapy. The choice is yours, Zach. Your life is in your hands, and you're going to have to make that decision. Belinda and Nathan are really just two knuckleheads living in their own world of trifleness and delusion. But as the saying goes, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. They're literally bonding over the fact that they want Zach and Fatima to break up. That's the only common denominator that the two of them share. Jeremiah and Miss Gladys are a lost cause, okay? Zach shouldn't have wasted a therapy session on them. Really, he should have just went by himself first, talked out his thing, and then brought Fatima in later. Then they can hash out their issues together. But taking Miss Gladys and Jeremiah was a waste of time. The ending scene, Zach really hit that Uno reverse on Fatima. He used Dr. Reed to lure her into a therapy session unknowingly, I can't say he was wrong for that. And honestly, the only way he probably could have gotten her to appear to that session was if Dr. Reed called him. Because if Zach would have called her and be like, oh, I'm going, and I would like for you to join me, Fatima's answer probably like, nah, do it for yourself. Handle out your issues with your family first. Like, I'm not finna show up. That's granted if she would have even picked up the call. So I'm not mad at Zach, having Dr. Reed call her and, pulling a Fatima on Fatima. I'm not mad about that because she honestly would not have given him, the time of day to, have the opportunity to come in, especially at the point that they were in after this big blow up. So, Zach, I'm going to let you slide on this one. Fatima, I know you were upset, getting ambushed like that, but now you see how Zach felt when you ambushed him at the table. But this is ultimately what you wanted, for him to get the help. And he did make that first step. And not only did he go, but he also tried to get his mom and brother on board as well. So, that is a big feat for me. Like, Zach, taking a step and trying to, bring in his mother and brother. He really wanted to make that first step and try. So we got to give him kudos for that. But in true Jeremiah and Miss Gladys form, the only thing they cared about is getting money from Zach, to get their next fix. Sorry, not sorry. They're wasted space, okay? Jeremiah, please, what kind of honesty and truth lies within a mother and son crack duo? Where's the truth in that? Please enlighten us. Jeremiah, I really just want to know, how long is Zach supposed to have this black cloud over his head about you taking the fall for him? When is Zach allowed to move on from that, huh? Like, Jeremiah, I would really appreciate it if you stopped throwing that in his face, because, okay, you did it, and what? Like, he said he's appreciative of it so many times, okay? And then him revealing him taking the fall for you over the time before, as he was a juvenile. Please let this go. Put it to rest. Miss Gladys, you better be glad that you being Zach's mother spared your ass, okay? Because you done called Fatima out her name one too many times. Your disrespectful level has, gone through the roof. Not to mention that your son is literally on this couch with tears in his eyes, trying to get better, trying to heal, the trauma that you've caused him. And in that instant, all you did was continue to tear him down and, not even recognize how hard that is for him. And I get it. She's, out of her mind because she's on crack. But it's damn, deep down inside, no motherly instincts lie. There's no humanity for your son at all. It's crazy. When I first watched the therapy scene, I was really trying to figure out what Zach's speech to Miss Gladys reminded me of. And now that I'm watching it over, I'm like, oh, okay, it reminds me of that scene in Medea's family reunion when Vanessa, gave her mother a similar speech, about them finding someone who loved them, but, not being able to let that person fully love them for real because of the trauma inflicted by their mother. Yeah, those two speeches give off the same energy. When I first watched, I was like, why did this sound familiar? Why I feel like I've seen this before? And it was that's where it is. If you watch Family Reunion, the movie, then you know what scene I'm talking about. I think that was the scene after Vanessa reveals to Lisa that, their mother allowed Lisa's father to come and, SA her. So heartbreaking. But she also basically gives her mom the same speech that Zach gave Miss Gladys. It really is such a shame because, some people aren't deserving of having kids. And Miss Gladys is an example of one of them. That lady should have never been able to procreate life at all. My heart broke entirely for Zach during this whole therapy session. To see him literally with his heart on his sleeve, pouring out his trauma to his mother and brother in front of Fatima and in front of Dr. Reed, and even having the continued, courage to express himself to Fatima while asking her back, for her back. I was proud of him in that moment. And, that scene really had the tears flowing. Okay, the tissues were out. Tears were shed. When Fatima got up and walked away, with tears in her eyes too, obviously, so drained and so over it, trying to get Zach to understand that, yes, she recognized that he's getting help, but she just want to make sure that he's getting help, for the right reason. This therapy is not part of a scheme just to get her back, but because he truly wants to change. My God, the pain I felt for Zach. But, once again, I do think that Fatima should have stayed and continued to try and make some progress with the help of, Dr. Reed, I feel like the scene would have been impactful had we seen, Fatima just stay just a little while longer to hash out some of the big issues that, they really are experiencing within the relationship. I am hoping that down the line, like season 3 or any other season, like we get another session where they're actually having, some meaningful couples therapy. It's something about seeing a grown man cry, like really cry, like Zach did on that couch, and like he did in episode 11 as well, that really gets to me. And another round of applause to the Val man, actually to the both of them, Crystal included. Okay, emotions were definitely being felt throughout these scenes, and tears were shed. Like, I was feeling their pain with them, okay? Round of applause to them, too. Really, Paul? You walk in on Fatima sitting in her car crying, and the only thing you thought to do to be able to comfort her is to remind her of the date you set. Like, sir, I really cannot rock with you for real. I cannot. Like, in that moment, like, please, a simple, take your time. I see, you're emotionally drained. You're going through a lot. I'm not trying to impede on nothing, would have done, wonders for me. But you really, but remember, we got dinner plan. Please, get out my face, sir. I am hoping that Lori never takes back Nathan's ass, because he's out here bouncing from Deja and Belinda and any other random hoe willing to let him slide. And, like, he's bound to bring something foul home to her. Like, she need to keep him outside, never let him back in. Fatima, now, why would you lie like that? You ain't even need to say that part of, about you sleeping with Paul to Zach. You were just trying to hurt that man, okay? And one of y'all gonna have to break that cycle of, because one is hurt, they're trying to hurt the other in the same way that they're hurting. Like, come on, he came to try and make amends. You could have just told him it was over without lying about sleeping with Paul. But that's, you saying that, you were just trying to put a dagger in his heart further. And it was like, that was not necessary. He saw you dressed up. He saw you was about to go out to dinner with him. You ain't need to lie to, that was not the sprinkle on top of the ice cream. You didn't need to lie about sleeping with Paul. You didn't. I was actually here for Angela and Zach's conversation. I really like that, Why do I feel like this is the first time, that we've seen them have actually a civilized and amicable conversation, actually? Like, I think every time they've really had a conversation, it was never like this civilized, this amicable, like where they actually, talk like people who know each other. So I was glad to see that. Angela, girl, I'm gonna need you to stop leading that man on when you know you don't want to be with him for real. I'm gonna say it one more time. Get off that damn roller coaster. It's either you can accept him fully as who he is, liking guys as well, and move on with your relationship, or just cut your losses now and walk away. Stop this will they, won't they trope. Please, I beg of you. I really have nothing much to say about the dinner scene with Paul and Fatima, because I really hate the fact that she even entertained him for real. Like, negative 10 out of 10. Do not recommend. Finally, some accountability from Bryce. Hallelujah. Okay. I'm glad Angela has had a change of heart for Zach and was even trying to look out for him, calling Bryce. Well, she was actually looking out for both men, because she also did ask Bryce to, be nicer to... She asked Zach to be nicer to Bryce, and then, asked Bryce to, look out for Zach. So, okay, she had both men's interests at heart, and I'm here for that. Zach, how are you in the doghouse and then out here pulling up on your flirtatious ass ex? Sir, please don't piss me off right now. At this point, Belinda is like an annoying fly that you can't seem to swat away. Just keep flying all in your space and everywhere. And everything she does is just completely wrong, because how do you think that divulging what went down between you and your friend, personal relationship, to a stranger you never met while she's on a date with him, was going to help you in rekindling that friendship? Can we be for real right now? Like, I know I'm saying that all, too much, but can we be for real? Zach, you should have known crashing the, date with Paul wouldn't have helped you or put you back in Fatima's good graces, because here you go embarrassing her again, and you're completely undermining and ignoring what she's asking for. She wants space, she wants time alone, but yet everywhere she looks, you're trying to get back in her space and you're ignoring what she truly wants, Even though we know that's not what she truly wants, but that's what she's asking in that moment, and you continuing to ignore and undermine that is really not helping your case. Belinda just really be lying through her teeth, dog. And I'm still at a loss for words with her antics, because I'm not sure what her end goal is. Like, if Zach and Fatima were to break up, or, permanently, and not just this break, what does Belinda get out of this? Like, absolutely nothing, Belinda. Zach won't be your man, and Fatima won't be your friend again. So why are you so persistent on breaking them up? Like, why? What's going on here? Paul really not, picking up on the fact that Fatima ain't really that into him really irks me. Like, she's literally trying to use you to get over Zach, and she's still not interested. Like, get a clue. Like, if I was a man, I would have been walked away. But okay, sir, do you, I guess. Honestly, Zach could have left it there with the monologue on that stage. I think that's more heartfelt, and I think that scene would have been, appreciated more had he, left all that he had to say on that stage without the song. Like, the song now made that scene comical, because it's like, okay, yeah, Zach really can't sing. But what he was saying, he was really expressing true feelings prior to that. Had he just stopped at that monologue and walked away, I think that scene would have been better for me. I'm also trying to figure out why he went to go get Connie, just for her to hear how much he's in love with Fatima. Like, I'm not Team Connie here yet, all the way, but that's kind of messed up. Like, you brought me out here so I can hear you pour your heart out to your girl who's on a date with another man. Like, what are we doing here, sir? You could have left Connie at home for this. You did not need Connie. Honestly, if I was Fatima, I would have walked out too. Like I said, that singing really just made it comical. Like, it seems like you were making a joke of the situation to me. Like, yeah, I would have walked out. Yeah, that scene was not impressing me after the singing, because like I said, if that first little monologue would have just stayed there as it was, I would have been fine. Really don't know why Fatima tried sleeping with Paul again. We knew that was not going to work out. You're not that into him, sis. Like, you're trying, but it ain't gonna happen, okay? Your mind, your heart, your body still longs for Zach, okay? Y'all just hurting right now. That's it. I'm not gonna lie. The first time I watched the episode, it really got me, because I really thought Fatima did end up at Zach's house. Not that it was an effing dream, okay? I thought, even though it wouldn't have been like a slither of hope, it was like, what, she know where home is. But nah, it was just a dream. You're still in the doghouse, Zach. That's why she's ignoring your calls, okay? I don't know what you expected from her. She was not changing her mind. She was trying to stand on business the best that she could, but we know sis was not, standing on business for long. The progression, though, from Zach and Angela not really being able to have, like, a real conversation, to him now freely being able to call her phone and ask about Fatima, okay, I like that progression, Zach need good people in his life. Well, Angela, even though her good is, like, wishy-washy, because one minute she be Team Belinda way too much for me, okay? But then the other minute she be having Fatima's back, so The jury's still out on her for real. Clearly, you're not as cool as you're trying to portray, Paul, because if you were really cool, with Fatima, quote unquote, using you, one, you wouldn't expect nothing in return from Fatima. Two, you wouldn't feel like, this relationship is one-sided. You literally signed up for this one-sidedness, when you told her she could use you. But now that she really is, just using you for that, like, emotional anchor right now, you have a problem with it. Like, please get out of my face. And you know what? It's actually so unfortunate because there are men that really feel like they deserve something just for being nice to a woman, They feel like because they're the quote-unquote good guy, they deserve something out of it. No. If you're being nice, then be nice, like, with no expectations, no strings attached to it. Because being nice only because you expect something out of it, that's like manipulation. You're only being nice because you want something. And you're, manipulating her to thinking that you're nice when in reality you're not. Because if you didn't have the expectation of getting something in return, you wouldn't have been this nice. Like, Paul, when I say nothing can make me be on your side right now, nothing can make me be on your side right now. Fatima, girl, them things ain't never getting out of that storage, okay? You say that every time. You just going to go retreat back to your man, to you and your man house, okay? Please stop trying to go back to that storage unit. Your apartment is in your past. You're never getting them clothes back. I am glad to see that Zach was reading Nathan for filth. Like, please clock all his tea. And you know what? Watching it, the first time, I actually completely missed this moment of growth from Zach because he was so anti-therapy, but now he's at a point where he's recommending therapy to his homeboys. That's growth for real. And I don't know why I did not remember seeing that. Like, that scene should have made more of an impact than it did because it's like, he really out here doing the work for real. And that shows it. Because before he was so turned off, like nobody could talk about therapy to him. Oh, you think I'm crazy, this and that. But now for him to try to, one, use the tool to pass on the tools that he's learned so far. And then to even encourage, Tony and Nathan to get on it. Especially Nathan head ass. I am proud of him. That's real growth for real. For real, for real. If Angela don't stop being friends with Belinda after finding out that she created that profile, like, I know something. Because at this point, you have no loyalty for Fatima at all. Because how many times are you going to continuously see that Belinda is purposefully trying to ruin Fatima's life for absolutely no reason until you're like, yeah, no, this is batshit crazy. And you need to sever ties with her. Like, do Belinda gotta kill Fatima for you to realize, like, damn, that bitch is crazy? Like, what does it take for you to realize Belinda is not a good person at all? Like, how many chances do you have to give her, Angela? How many chances? Fatima's parents scheming to get, Zach and Fatima to dinner together was definitely not in my bingo cards. But Miss Mona and Mr. Henry must have had one hell of a talk for that 180 turnaround and change of heart that Miss Mona did when it comes to Zach. Okay, but I'm here for the parental interference. I also never saw Paul being married to Valerie being on my bingo list, but him being married or, having a situation, whatever that situation is, but vying so desperately for Fatima's attention is crazy and prove that men really ain't worth a damn for real. Like, sir, please get out of my face right now. But anyways, down in the comments, let me know your thoughts on episodes 11 through 15. Until next time, thank you for watching.